Today I'm in the great outdoors setting up the North Face Wawona 6P 6-person tent. This is a great tent. North Face says they've given the tent a refresh. They have gone from a single to double wall construction, re-engineered its poles and made it easier to set up. One of the greatest features and most notable is the huge vestibule on the front of the tent. With the redesign of the tent, you now have the option to set up the tent without the rainfly / vestibule. Today I'm going to set up the tent by myself, and then I'll show you in detail some of the outstanding design features. This is the Free Soldier tent footprint that's 118 inches by 116 inches. I'm going to use it underneath the vestibule because the vestibule doesn't have a floor in it. If you want more information on this footprint, see my unboxing video. North Face is a company known for quality. During my first year in college, my first other brand book backpack was junk. And my second backpack, a North Face backpack, not only survived the next 3.5 years of school, but I still have it and use it today after many years. The Wawona 6P proves that North Face is still the same great company. As I'm getting the tent out of the tent bag, let's talk about the tent structure just a little bit. The main structure is made from 150 Delta polyester, and the floor is made out of 68 Delta polyester. The tent comes with the DAC MX poles that North Face says are stronger without the weight penalty. The mesh material on the doors and ceiling is amazingly strong and tight. The seams are all sealed, and the floor has kept out any ground moisture. The tent is definitely high quality. Quick look at the rainfly vestibule on the left, the tent pegs bag in the center, and then the tent poles bag on the right hand side. Here you can see the tent poles. There's really 3 types. 2 yellow poles are the same for the main tent, and then 2 different black or dark gray poles, one for the vestibule and one for the main tent on the vestibule or the main entrance end that helps to support the main tent and gives shape to the vestibule. Once you've set this tent up once, it's easy to identify the front from the back, or the large main door from the smaller back door. Here's a tip when inserting these poles. If you insert the bottom pole first and then the top pole, I think it's easier, especially with one person. I inserted the top pole first, and then I inserted it into the tent stays. If you insert both poles before you insert it in the tent stays and set it up, it would probably be easier. Now, it probably doesn't matter with 2 people, but with one person, it's definitely doable, but I think it would have been easier if you did it like I described. So here you can see my difficulty. if you just insert the two yellow poles into the main tent pull sleeves before putting them into the tent stays at the bottom, then it would be a lot easier to set up, at least for one person. Do you see what I'm saying in this view? One pole passes over the other within the pole sleeves. That's what I was describing as one pole on top of the other. A classic dome style tent. You can see as I put the tent poles into those bottom stays on the second pole, how the tent tightens up. Look at the fit and finish of the tent. Very nice mesh, very nice material on the bottom. Like I said earlier, two different black poles. One has two distinct bends in it. That's the vestibule pole. And then the other one has just a slight bend in it. That's the pole that goes on the front of the main tent. This is a nice feature of this tent. As I insert this pole and give shape to the front door here, you'll see what I'm talking about. But this pole gives shape to the front and the front entrance of the tent and the vestibule, which gives you full ceiling height as you go through the front door. And it gives you full ceiling height just in front of the tent in the vestibule, which is very nice design feature. There's an old saying that I hope is not lost on the younger generations, that if all else fails, read the directions. Well, I didn't find the directions until this step that you're looking at now. So now I'm going to show you the directions. I know it's out of place. In a military manual, the first thing that you do is pull everything out and inventory it to make sure that you have everything before you start assembling it. And that's the first step on the North Face directions for this particular tent. And if I would have done that in this case, I would have found the directions with the tent pegs. Let's take a look at the directions now. This is where I'm at. I've just completed step 6 and moving on to step 7. Here we go with the vestibule rainfly setup. We're a little over halfway there, so bear with me. Now the key to laying out the vestibule is to find that pull sleeve, and that goes to the front of the tent. The front being the left-hand side in this video. So I'm pointing the front of the tent towards the left. So to find the front, you find that pull sleeve, and that goes to the front. At the rear of the tent, the rain fly gets held down with this ring and toggle on each side. I've always heard that if you can get this toggle through the ring one-handed while holding a camera, that you're a genius. I have heard comments in some of the forums that these toggles are hard to do two-handed. I'm showing you that I can do it with one hand. I'm pulling the vestibule rain fly to the front of the tent, and then I'm going to fasten the vestibule rain fly stays to the main tent poles. That way it's anchored on the back side or the tent side. Here I'm attaching the center Velcro, the vestibule rainfly center Velcro to the main tent pole. This helps the rainfly keep from flapping around in the wind and helps position it. I'm closing all the doors and then pulling the tent tight as I go and staking the main tent first so that the vestibule rainfly can get pulled tight away from it. These are nice. When you stake the front end of the vestibule, you have the option of leaving them open so you can get a little air under the vestibule, or pulling the vestibule tight to the ground to keep out wind and make it a little more airtight. This is the only guy line that I think you need to do, is the one that's on the front of the vestibule. The rest of them, if you're going to be in a wooded area like I'm in here or with low wind, you don't need to do, but this one I think you need to do. I think it just secures that vestibule rainfly pole a little better to help the vestibule maintain its shape. Now that the tent is set up, let's have a look at it. I'm going to open up the vestibule. Great design feature of this tent is this big vestibule. It's easy to tell which end of the tent is the front, the vestibule end. I'm using the loop and toggle to secure the door back. And take a look at this zipper. The most important feature of any tent, in my opinion, is the zippers. Now, if a zipper fails, especially on this tent or most tents, if a zipper fails, you're going to get wet or you're going to get cold. Zippers are very important to secure the doorways and windows of a tent. I've stayed in and used a number of military tents over a long military career, and this tent is made of very good materials, including these zippers. This mesh on the doors and ceiling of the tent are very nice, very tight, very strong. The main mesh door also has a loop and toggle to secure it up and open on each side. The main door has two zippers, one on each side, so that you can step in and out, or you can open up the whole door by opening up both zippers, and so you're able to bring in cots or whatever. I stated it earlier when I was setting up the tent, but the main structure is made out of 150 Delta polyester, and the floor is made out of 68 Delta polyester. A very good material, very strong, and very waterproof. This is a look at the two-part rear door, the inner mesh with equipment pockets on it, and then the outer rain protection. This version of the tent, the new version of the tent, doesn't have a vestibule on the back like previous versions. When you open it all up, this tent doesn't have a problem with airflow. Very nice in the summer heat. Here's a quick look at the equipment pockets. After using the tent a couple times, I see no stretch of the pockets whatsoever. Put flashlights and other pieces of equipment into these pockets, and they're doing very well. This tent has a loop in each of the four corners and then one up in the center for a total of 5 loops. You could put cords, string cords from loop to loop or whatever to hang equipment, flashlights, regular lights, whatever. All the seams are very nice, double stitched and reinforced. This is a look at the side window mesh with the rain fly closed on the outside. I never like to believe the product brochures. This tent is 8 feet wide or 2.44 meters wide by 9 foot 6 inches, 2.9 meters long, and it's 6 foot 6 inches tall with a footprint of 85 square feet. Like I stated several times earlier, the floorless vestibule is very large, very noticeable on this tent. It has 2 large doors that you can open up for airflow. It has equipment loops inside, and it also has a strap that runs from door to door on the side to help maintain its shape on the bottom. The vestibule is the same 8-foot width as the tent and adds 75 inches or 1.91 meters to the length of the tent and adds 45 square feet to the footprint. These are the mid-tent vents that can Velcro closed on the rain fly, or they have a little pull in that you can prop open and Velcro open, one on each side. This is a quick interior view. They're really not made for windows to look out of, they're made for ventilation. The 2 side windows are very large. They have a zipper and Velcro on each side, and then a loop and toggle so you can roll them up and keep them open. This is an outside view of the back of the tent and then the back door that's partially open. Let's go around to the other side of the tent and I'll open up the window for you so that you can get a view of the open window. The trick here is to fold that 45 angled end piece in before you roll them up, and then they'll roll up really nice. I don't demonstrate that very well here, but they do roll up nice. If you're looking for more information on this tent, I'll put a link to the Amazon page in this video description. Also, if you click on that product link and purchase the tent, it helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and open up that rear door while we're here. This is probably my favorite civilian tent. Again, zippers, awesome zippers, very good zippers. Look like a quality product. The materials are very good. It's a dome tent, so it's easy to set up. It'll handle the wind well, and one person can set it up. Even though it's a very large tent, one person can set it up. Lots of mesh, lots of airflow. It's got the rain fly. You can use the tent with or without the rain fly. The huge vestibule. The only drawbacks are it's not a 4-season tent. It's very open. It's really a 3-season or summer tent, and the vestibule doesn't have a floor in it. If that's important to you, you can always use a tarp like I'm doing or a footprint. One thing you may have noticed, I didn't use the North Face footprint underneath my tent. It hadn't come yet, it hasn't been delivered. So look for a video in the future showing that North Face footprint to go underneath this tent. Well, that concludes the video. I hope that you found it useful. And if you did, let me know in the comments, and please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the great outdoors.